Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and I'm from CMS, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the pros and cons of the TiLite Pilot, which is a paediatric rigid wheelchair. So the TiLite Pilot was introduced I think around a year and a half ago now, especially, well, more importantly to the UK anyway. And it was put alongside the TiLite Twist as well. The main sort of selling point that they were pushing was the growth adjustability, but the growth adjustability that still maintained the centre of gravity, the pointer centre of gravity. Now, the importance, obviously, of that is the positioning of the individual, so the child, in relation to the main drive wheels. For those who don't know, the further forward the wheels are in relation to your seating position, the more active, so the more tippy and sort of off balance the wheelchair will be. Whereas if you move the wheels further back, so further behind you, that is more of a passive setup, which means that the chair is more stable, but also the negative is that it's a lot harder to push and also for you to achieve that reach behind your chest to still propel the chair. So it's just finding out the balance, but once you've found that balance, you don't really want to be messing around with it too much, but the child still may be growing. So what the Pilot can achieve is a decent amount of growth in width and depth, and also footplate angle and also length, as well as a huge amount of backrest dimension settings and differences as well, without affecting the centre of gravity. And that's where the chair really separates itself from the rest of the market. Now, this is a rigid chair, which means non-folding. However, I'm going to demonstrate to you and show you, hopefully now, the way in which it can still collapse down and still be a very sort of compact unit. So for travelling and for transportation purposes, it's still very much an appropriate chair for that. So don't ever rule it out just because you are going to be travelling around a lot. Okay, so going straight into the pros and cons of the chair. Any tech specs, sizing, so measurements, weights, anything like that, I will put a link in the description below that will give you the actual PDF version of the brochure, and yeah, that will give you all the relevant information there. What I'm going to do is I want to give you the pros and cons that I think separate it from the others. So first off, as we've already discussed, we have the huge amount of adjustability and ease of adjustment. When you look around the chair, there is literally infinite amounts of movement and tweaking that can be done that will get the child into a very supportive and comfortable position, but B, enabling you to adjust and accommodate growth as the child does grow. So giving the chair a huge amount of longevity, which is very important considering the price point, which I will get onto later. Second of all, kind of a little thing, but I absolutely love the brakes and how the push-to-lock brakes are built into the side guard or the mud guard. I think this is a lovely touch, having the actual brakes at the brake itself at the rear, but having the lever to push, which is a really nice sprung-loaded push to lock system that's built into the mud guard, which obviously for safety is fantastic because there is very little chance of the child getting any fingers or anything else caught, clothes or whatever, into the brake itself. If you look at a stereotypical push to lock brake, it's very exposed and directly in sort of reach of the child, so there is always opportunities for accidents to happen. So I think that's a really nice idea. Thirdly is the position of the foot plates, and also how the caster arms, so the arms of the frame that actually link up to the caster wheels and the caster forks, how they extend beyond the foot plate. Again, another safety feature. All children, especially in something lightweight and as active as this, they're going to be throwing around the place, they're going to be bashing into things and crashing into other people probably. But what's really nice about it is that it's giving that extra bit of protection. So if that was to happen, or if they were, they're not going to get themselves caught, or they ram their feet into the wall, or any other sort of nasty accidents. It's again sort of a really nice sort of preventative measure. So really like that. Okay, so my fourth pro of the TiLite Pilot is the backrest, but the backrest canes. So one, it is already very much geared up for any other third-party backrest to be fitted, which gives you a huge amount of options when you are prescribing the chair. But not only that, the canes themselves designed and very easily accessible on terms of adjustment. You've got width and depth and also height adjustment of the backrest canes, which is before you even get to all the adjustments you'd get on a third-party backrest. Really nice touch and beneficial when we're trying to set up a chair. The last pro that is important is the aesthetics. I think the chair looks absolutely awesome. I think it's really important that any paediatric chair can be personalised, and it can be personalised from stock, so from the prescription form. There are lots of different things that a child can choose, or parents can decide to make it their own, from the wheel spoke colours to the main frame colour, and then there's also accent colours as well. But also everything about the chair as well, how the build quality, and also the nice little touches. So the little tag that comes with the chair, which I think is just a really lovely touch. Yeah. So all in all, I just think it's a great chair. Right. Now moving on to the cons. As you can tell, I do like the chair, but it does have a few negatives. Firstly, I have spoken about the huge amount of adjustment, and all in all, the adjustment's actually really easy and intuitive to do and very accessible. The only time that I would think that it comes a little bit challenging is when you're trying to adjust the angle and also the length of the foot plate hanger. There is a collar or a sleeve, or in the middle of the hanger itself, that if you're not careful can slip down, and it can be a bit annoying having to get that back again. But if you know what you're doing, and I always advise any adjustment that you need doing to your chair, that you obviously get someone that knows what they're doing and is trained with the TiLite Pilot to do that. But yeah, just a small thing that I found out actually more from a user trying to do it themselves, and then me trying to retrieve it. Second of all, cost, I suppose. Not the cheapest chair in the world, but I do believe that you pay for what you get. These chairs have a huge price range, but that is all dependent on the options chosen. And I think that anyone that's in the market for this kind of chair needs to appreciate that if they want that reliability, the quality of build, and also having that sort of longevity and growth built into it, that they're going to have to pay a decent amount, especially to allow their child to really have that bit of independence. But yes, it is not the cheapest chair out there, so certainly bear that in mind in your decision. What else? I mean, the chair does fold down and does collapse into a very compact nature. However, in order for you to get it down to that size, if you do have anti-tipper, which I do, if you have height adjustable push handles, which I do, and obviously the third-party backrest, or any hard shell backrest, they all have to be removed, and as well as obviously the main drive wheels, but they all have to be removed in order for it to be compact. So you've still got to, there is still consideration to fit all of that into the car once you've taken it apart. But you could argue you'd have to do that for a folding anyway. So yeah, it's one of those things. But still a factor, and still still something to consider. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully that was helpful and informative enough. As always, if there are any other questions that you'd like to ask me, or any questions that I didn't answer, then please leave a comment in the description or below the description. And yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. And yeah, hopefully I'll speak to you all soon.